Hello YouTube, this is Tom Sayer, and over this past weekend, at the very start of Justice Hunters format after Euros, I secured my invite for next Euros next year, playing Yummy with Board Breakers. It was a very fun event at Stevenage Regional. 7 rounds I went X1, losing only to Matthew Kane of this channel in the mirror match. And I had a really great time. This deck felt insane. I was quite disheartened playing online because it felt quite weak into Draco Tail that I thought would see more rogue representation, and the VSK9 just felt quite hand check-y as a matchup. But I wanted to try something new after playing Malice for a long time, and thankfully I've been bankrolled by my good friend Alex Sexton, who has bought me this Yummy deck core and told me to go to events, play it, test it, see how it feels. So I'm really pleased with the result because I wasn't necessarily expecting a top, but I came 4th place, so top 4. Really happy with the deck. It felt extremely strong, and I've got a big shout out to Lawrence Kirk because I basically net decked his list with a couple of small changes from when he came 3rd place along with his teammate Josh Kelly at the Grimsby Regional on Saturday as well. So I'll get right into the profile. So main deck first, I think you still have to definitely play 3 of all of the names, Cupsy, Lollipo and Cookie. Online, Julian Kayan is saying play Piri Raise Map. I think that card is terrible because these cards are starters and extenders by themselves, so you have to max out on them. And speaking of maxing out, you have to play 3 of what is possibly the best card in the deck, Obedience Schooled. If this resolves, you're going to have a hard time losing. If you go second, if you get ashed, you can thrust and search another one. You can clear your board and use it. It's just, the beast lock doesn't matter. You can make Arclight in their turn, so this is an incredible card. It'll probably get hit in the near future. So I still played both Field Spell, the Minion, which is attack gain 1, and Ekroki, which is the pop and replace. If you get nibbed, it's quite scary to actually keep playing sometimes, and you play Link Spider in the extra deck, as you'll see later. So I do think it's worth playing 2 of them, especially when playing Breakers. You're a bit less resilient to hand traps as a list in general, so you want to make sure that you can keep playing. I know that Triff cut this one, but yeah, this is really good. You can chain block your sync researchers with it as well, and of course, attacking for game with this is crazy. And then I play 3 surprise. This card is Naturia Blessing and has 3 effects. Why wouldn't you play 3 of them? If you activate Obedience Schooled, you can then activate this, bounce 2 of your cards to your hand for follow-up and keeping on playing, and then bounce 2 of their cards. Obviously, the effect that seems to come up the most is the bounce 2, but the Reborn for follow-up is as important, honestly. And I never resolved it, but the effect that can add back the field spell to avoid it getting banished by SP, for example, is very useful as well. I do think maxing out on this is really good. And then we saw a very small Engage and Drones package, just 1 of each. I think that in a hand trap lists, again, you probably want to play 3 Engage just because of the consistency, but when you draw it later in the game, it's so dead, and yeah, sure, you can discard it or you can Droplet send it, but I'd much rather be able to resolve it whenever I see it, and if you see 1 copy, then you can always resolve it. This does get you to the biggest combo possible, but it is much weaker to hand traps. If they ash the synchro that you make with this after Kogari, then it's difficult to keep playing. So yeah, it's a very good starter. 1 prosp. I keep banishing 3 face down, and Josh Kelly gets angry with me because he says you have to banish 6 every single time. I wasn't sure always what to banish off of this. I often went for a Link Spider, the Anima, and maybe the Typhon, because I kept feeling like I would always get to the Herald and stuff later on. But I do think that you should go for 6 every single time to see the good side deck cards. So I think I was in error there. I often side it out going second because you want to be able to kill them if you're going second. You want to try and just OTK them in that 1 turn, so often comes out for going second. Droplet is an amazing card in this deck. It just feels so good to play. You can send so many cards for free off of Schooled. If you send 3 monsters and then have an empty board to Schooled again, or normal summon, then it's really crazy. It's such good value. Breaking the boards can be difficult this format, but obviously this is what the deck is designed to do, and this is the kind of first step on that journey. You can reset it off of the Ukana Mitsune Link 2 as well. Really strong. And then 3 thrust. Don't side deck this card, play it in the main deck, please. It's insane. It can search Obedience Schooled. I'm going to say that card's name many times in this deck profile. And then, of course, the mandatory one of talents that is extremely bannable. I think I only ever searched talents, maybe a Harpies once, just to look at that hand. A bit like Memento, I want to just like get hand knowledge, make sure that you can secure the OTK really easily, and then carry on playing. I think I hard drew this once or twice, and it won me the game because of that. Shout out to Sev Furtek in the last round. One Dark Ruler, again this is the same as Lawrence's list. This is in case you play against things like K9 Crystron, where the match is quite scary and they've got like a really wide board. But again, I want to kill them, I want to OTK them, so I never resolved this, never needed to do it. It could maybe be a Regeki as a separate ball breaker, but I think, you know, it's one slot that you can discard off of the Cup C synchro, so it's fine. And these cards are disgusting in the main deck. If you resolve this in the game 1 when they've gone first and they just don't expect it, it's crazy. You do get a lot of value out of every single deck. You can destroy the Vanquish Soul trap that's going to Regeki you. You can destroy all of the Mirror's random set cards. Matthew Kane, you destroyed my Imperm and my Call By and my Tronus and my Yummy Surprise and my Field Spell when you activated Lightning Storm against me game 2. So very good card. Can recommend. And again, yeah, they're hard go second cards, but you have ways to discard them if they are truly dead for the rest of the game. And then we played the 9 trap hand traps, Imperm, Purge, and 3 songs. I do feel strange about songs, to be honest, because it's not the strongest card in the formats, but I do think that it can search Purge sometimes, which is strong. You can droplet send this, and then on resolution, because there's a trap in the grave, you can search the Purge, which is a crazy interaction. Imperm felt really strong for me, actually. Like, if you draw it again as a 6th card, it's great, a bit like Charmies. You can Imperm the Snatchy and Standby phase is very strong. Purge destroying things when it's got a trap in the grave is really great. And of course, we chose to play this like this to avoid the Kanan Izuna coming up when they have dead cards in the main deck against you, and they'll side out the Izunas that trigger when you've used a monster effect in the hand that turn. So I think that if you choose to play a hand trap version of this list, you have to play so many hand traps that, I don't know, sometimes you're just going to not be able to break the bigger boards that are established. And Yummy in the mirror can establish a board through like 2 or 3 hand traps quite consistently. So that's why we chose to play the breaker approach. Clean 40 card main deck. I really wouldn't change much at all, apart from maybe Dark Ruler. I loved everything else. It felt incredibly smooth, and I bricked only once, and my opponent bricked 2, so it was fine on Mitsu Raziel. So the extra deck, of course 15. So we have 3 Snatchy. I often go through all 3. My tier opponent, round 2, shuffled back all of them into my extra deck so that turn 3 I could then play very freely, which was helpful of him. But it meant that I couldn't play in his turn further, so it made sense for him to do it in that situation. But if you get cherriesed, then it's quite sad. So this is obviously the best card in the deck, in a way. Like, non-once per turn synchro summoning is just a crazy mechanic. And then Kagari, just for the striker package that gets you to the synchro monster by itself. I think that I summoned it about 5 or 6 times yesterday, and it was really, really good. It was a 2k body once for OTKing when I had 5 spells in the grave, which is quite funny, so that was good. Moving on to the Link ones, we had the Anima and Link Spider that I showed earlier on. I used this to out a Tikaboo, because you could normal summon, no effect. Make this, summon a second one from hand, no effect. Make SP, banish the Tikaboo. Go battle phase, crash into their SP. Oh look, I've got an empty board. What have I got in my hand? Activate Obedient Schooled. Crazy. So this came up for that purpose. I don't think the scoop effect is going to come up ever, but if you get cherries like I mentioned and you've lost this Link one, then you have no way to play it unless you can just make a Link one with your body and then summon the other one from hand, and that's good. Link Spider is there for nib and also for the striker token if you do make it with something else that's not Kagari later in the game. It's weird because I feel like I'm only getting nibbed or losing to nib if I have activated Obedient Schooled, so then I can't summon this, but I think I would still play it as insulation for random corner cases. Then Linksus, Ukanamitsune no Unari, I love saying the name correctly. This card is really crazy. You can reset droplets from the graveyard when you summon it, or obviously Yummy Surprise is the main one that you want to reset. In my game against Matthew in round 6, I could have forcibly crashed this in the start of my battle phase to pop and burn him because it applies both effects if both field spells are live. Get rid of his gain attack field spell and then kill him. But I got him down to 1,000 life points and then just didn't realize that there was no way for him to prevent me from forcibly crashing it in his turn to burn him for game. So that was a misplay on my part. That effect really comes up quite a lot, and non-target destruction of back row in the mirror, also amazing. So it is mandatory to play this. SB, like I mentioned, it came out to take a boo and little else. Sometimes you can put it on your end board, but it's not going to achieve a huge amount there really. So yeah, but it's there. I think it's very good to play. And then 3 synchros, 1 of each. I was playing 2 Cupsy for a long time, and I think that I would still just stick to 1 of each now because they tag out themselves. If you play correctly, then you can always recycle them when you need to, so you don't need to have any more. They are all incredible, obviously. The double Book of Moon effect is just insane. It's so strong into K9 Jokul when they reveal 1 level 5 and summon both of them, and then you just go, cool, Book of Moon 2. I think I started combos a lot of the times with this Reborn 2 instead and get to the Add 2 later on. So yeah, they've all got their purposes, like extremely strong cards. And then 1 Starham, 1 Marcher, and 1 Arclight for the synchro summoning later on. I had cut this for a while and was thinking of playing Cross Sheep to avoid getting Contact Seed, but in hindsight I was really glad I had this because I made Arclight with this body and the tuner that it summons back quite a few times. And then I don't think I ever summoned Marcher. Like I never made like the full end board, to be honest. Like if you're making it, you are winning that game, but it doesn't matter if you can't get to Arclight until their turn. I don't think I missed the second one really. Once you get to the second one, they are going to go battle phase anyway and just crash over it, so I feel like 1 is totally fine. The final card in the extra deck was a Typhon, and I don't think I summoned it myself, but it made me lose the mirror that I lost. Again, shout out Matthew. When you purge, you can't use the effect to bounce, but having the big body, if you are worried about your field spell getting banished, the one that gains attack, then that can be very relevant as well. So I think I wouldn't make any changes here, except for maybe a Cross Sheep if I could find space, just for the fear of Contact C. And finally, side deck. So some funny thrust targets. This is Crush Card Virus. It's not like other viruses in that it doesn't linger for 3 turns because it got errated and heavily nerfed after it was completely broken. But against Vanquish K9, it destroys almost all of the monsters apart from Mad Love and Holy Sue. So the theory is you get Charmed or something, or you can't play, you normal summon, you thrust set this, you make Relinquish Anima, which has got 0 attack Dark Monster, and then activate this, and then they can't win. Even though they can destroy 3 from deck, it doesn't matter in the matchups you're putting it in against. And then D-Barrier for Rogue, for Fusion decks, for Drake's Tail, and for the Mirror as well. It's very strong. I wouldn't change these because Thrust is in the main deck, and Thrust is crazy. 1 rivalry, I was thinking of playing Gozen as well. I had this going second against VSK9, but he had full setup after Dice Smashering FTKing me, so that wasn't going to come up. But I do put it in going second against that deck, because if they can't out it, then they can't play. Then more going first stuff actually, Ash and Coolby, these are mostly for Charmies. I think I put it in against Mitsu Rise, going second to try and see hand traps that I didn't see, but Ash is a good card against the Charmies. Everyone knows that Yami doesn't have to play into the Charmies and give them like 10 draws. However, if you get to stop them and play fully, then great, you've won. Coolby is for the same purpose really. It's really good into the Draco Tail matchup because you can Coolby 5 mana, and it's annoying if you set it because sometimes they can then end of main phase use stuff that you then can't Coolby. I didn't see Draco Tail yesterday. I was really scared of the matchup as it might sound. I know that Mel was on it and also got top 8, so shout out to Mel. But yeah, these were very strong. I would still play these going first. And then we played Lancer. This is the one thing I definitely would change. I think I would put in Gravekeeper's Inscription against decks. I've just stuck my inscription to my playmat sticky thing. Oh my gosh. Don't cut this because it's funny. Thankfully, I have not destroyed the back of this card. So Inscription accomplishes the same things that Lancia would do, where you can cool no effect activation in the grave against lots of difficult matchups, like Dwellering them is really, really strong. It's obviously to respect Malice, but I saw no Malice in the room at all. I was going to play Malice because I was scared that like I wouldn't get good enough at Yami, and I guess I was wrong. But yeah, I think that this can kill the Malice follow-up, and so when you break their board or destroy the board, then you've accomplished the same thing as Lancia, pretty much. So yeah, I would change that. And then finally, just 3 Fuelos and 2 Tronus as going second cards, both for the mirror. Again, I think it's too risky to put these in going second against VSK9 or K9 variants, even though they do side out the Azunas in this matchup. But yeah, it's for the mirror, it's for other like just combo decks, and I think I resolved it like once. It was fine. And then this card is broken in the mirror. You go into main phase, you just go Tronus first action, target Snatchy. They can't respond with that Snatchy, and then you summon your own main deck monster, and then you can combo, because you just make your own Snatchy. Because they can't respond, it's just brilliant. And I think back in Snake Eye format, when it was tier 0 and everyone played this like everyone else, like it was really strong. So this list felt like really incredible. I think I played against 2 Yummy, 1 Mitsu Raizure, 1 K9 the Millennium, 1 Tier, 1 VSK9, and finally 1 Striker. Shout out Sev Furtek. Other shout outs again to Alex Sexton for buying me Yummy. Thank you so much, Alex. I wouldn't be here without you, of course. And also to Team Burger in general. Shout out to Max Marston and Jack Lodge for lending me cards for the event as well. Really appreciated. And otherwise, shout out to all my opponents, like such lovely people. I have grown to really love being part of this community because I just feel like it's getting less toxic and more enjoyable to hang out and to just share the success that we have and love this game. So I had a really great time playing the events. I don't think I'd make many changes apart from the inscription, like I mentioned before, and I'm really happy to have secured my invite so early on in the season. So again, thank you to Team Burger, and also check out my own channel, Tom Saer Yu-Gi-Oh, in the description of this video. Thank you so much, and have a great day.